there have been plentiful and now apparently credible reports that Russia interfered in our elections. Now, it's put that way by a lot of the press, but let's just be clear about what that sentence means. They interfered in doing propaganda during our elections. They interfered in getting information from the DNC and, according to some of our intelligence officials, also information from the RNC, but they did not release that because apparently, according to the FBI, the CIA, and Department of Homeland Security, and by the way, a lot of the guys at the FBI were on Trump's side, but still they all confirm that, yes, it was the Russians that broke into John Podesta's emails, for example, and released them to the public. That doesn't mean that they hacked our voting booths, although there was concern about that, but that has not been proven at all, okay? But still, this was enough to significantly anger the U.S. government, of course, and so today, President Obama decided there were going to be consequences. He said, quote, "These data theft and disclosure activities could only have been directed by the highest levels of the Russian government." That's again based on all of our intelligence agencies saying the same thing. I'll get to more information about that in a second. So now, what are the consequences? He says, Huffington Post explains, in addition to hitting 2 Russian intelligence agencies, 3 companies, and 4 individual intelligence officers with sanctions, banning them from travel and business with U.S. companies or individuals, Obama ordered 35 Russian operatives posted at diplomatic facilities in Washington and San Francisco to leave. So this is a pretty significant size hit. And so it's funny that we know where their operatives are so that when we need to kick them out, they're like, okay, take the Russian spies out. Why don't we do that earlier? Partly because we also have spies in Russia that they are aware of. So, but it turns out, as you'll see in a little bit, they've been hitting those guys already anyway. Okay, now let me give you more of the consequences. The president asked the State Department to bar Russians from entering 2 Russia-owned compounds in Maryland and New York that were used to gather intelligence, according to his statement. So isn't that amazing? Not only we know who some of their agents are, we know where their compounds are. Oh, that's where they're spying in on us. Anyway, up and at them. I guess let's kick those guys out. But again, it's tit for tat. So when we do this, they're going to kick our guys out. So that's part of the reason why we don't do it on day one. Okay, and Obama's Treasury Department barred U.S. business with 2 Russians accused of cyber theft of money and data. Now, look, that's just a small explanation of it, but usually where all this stuff really hurts is when it hits the pocketbook of Putin or his allies. So that's where the sanctions are relevant. That's why the sanctions against Russia after they went into Crimea made a big difference. One of the things that they stopped was a $500 billion oil deal that Russia had with ExxonMobil. And that's why Russia was so mad and part of why they wanted Trump to get elected. But it's not like Trump did them a solid by putting the new Secretary of State as the CEO of ExxonMobil. Oh, right, he did. So that $500 billion deal will probably now be back on. Whether Trump can reverse this, we'll get to in a second, these new moves. Now, Obama went on to explain, moreover, our diplomats have experienced an unacceptable level of harassment in Moscow by Russian security services and police over the last year. Such activities have consequences. So that's him saying not only were you messing around doing propaganda during our election, but you were already outing our agents and harassing them. So I got nothing left to lose here anyway. Of course I'm going to kick your agents out and close your compound. I'm sure we don't know all of their agents. I mean, there's possible there's going to be somebody at the White House who's a Siberian candidate. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, but the ones we know are on their way out and more sanctions are coming. And others, and other U.S. officials said, look, we know they're spying back and forth. That's why we know where their agents are and they know where some of our agents are. But this was above and beyond what normally happens, and it was, quote, a flagrant violation of diplomatic norms. So are we sure it was them? Well, let me give you 2 things on that. First, Huffington Post reports senior U.S. officials said there was, quote, no debate within the intelligence community that Russia interfered in the election. This wasn't a, quote unquote, he said, she said situation, one official said. Instead, the official added, there are facts, and then there's what Russia said. So again, the FBI has certainly large factions of it, including the guy running it, took very pro-Trump actions during the election, including doing a nonsense announcement 11 days beforehand of, oh my God, maybe we're reopening the Hillary Clinton investigation. And then 8 days later, no, we're not. Anyways, let's see how that turned out. Okay, so even the FBI that did all that is like, yeah, no, it was the Russians. There's no debate, okay? Now, if you don't trust the government, and I hear you, brother, let's go to an independent source like The Intercept. The Intercept reported Thursday morning that the National Security Agency has successfully tracked Russian hacking in the past. Its capabilities may be the key to the intelligence community's confidence in Russia's meddling. So, look, do we have 100% evidence? No. Do we have a lot of evidence from many different sources here? Okay, the answer is yes. So you can say, I'm not going to believe anything, I'm not going to believe it. But it appears that the people who have looked into this say, yeah, it was the Russians and these are the consequences. In fact, I think they have Putin on tape. Hey, did you get into our elections? And he said,
I jump in it.
And did you get the result you wanted?
I has it.
Okay. No, that is not part of the real evidence. Please calm down. Okay. Anyway, so now, luckily, the Russians do have their Siberian candidate. So what does Trump think of all this? Let's find out.
I think that computers have complicated lives very greatly. The whole age of computer has made it where nobody knows exactly what's going on.
Who could know? I don't know if it was the Russians, the Chinese, or as he said in the past, the guy, sitting in his home in New Jersey. The age of the computer is very complicated. Me not able to figure it out. Me simple person. Well, that part is true about Trump. So what now, though? Can he reverse this as soon as he gets in office, which is very, very soon? Brace for impact, okay? Well, here's what an Obama administration aide said about these moves. He said, if a future president decided he wanted to allow in a large tranche of Russian intelligence agents, presumably a future president could do that, we don't think it would make much sense to reopen Russian intelligence compounds. We don't think it makes much sense to invite back in Russian intelligence agents. So that's a very good point. He could reverse the sanctions, and he probably will because he's got money to make there, and so does ExxonMobil. But in terms of at least the spies that were kicked out and the compounds that were closed, even for Trump, that's a hell of a thing to do. Hey, I won. So anyway, let's bring the Russian spies back in. Plus, a lot of folks in the Republican Party don't have his back on this for now. Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, said Russia does not share America's interests. In fact, it has consistently sought to undermine them, sowing dangerous instability around the world. He said that after President Obama spoke, in other words, backing up Obama, not Trump in that case. And then also in the Senate, Republican Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham, who praised Obama's actions Thursday and said they are looking at further punishments for Moscow. So Trump does have to tread a little bit more carefully on this issue when he gets into office. On the other hand, he's not much for treading carefully, so anything could happen. You can help build independent media. We're now doing fundraising to get 4 new investigative reporting teams out there and be the watchers on the wall. We're not going to let Trump get away with anything. We're not going to let the establishment get away with anything. You help us build it. TYTnetwork.com/go. Be part of the solution.